Yes, ma'am. You were asking something.
Is there a Kriya program, a Kriya techniques that bring the amazing oneness experiences in meditation beyond self, so that when you're in activity, living life where the world's collapsing around us and so much suffering, how you maintain that oneness? If anyone would know, it'd be someone who's had time in the cave and time in the marriage, and it's very hard to reconcile and more difficult to sustain that experience. So if it can't be sustained, I'm not sure it's even worth it.
Okay. So your basic question was, is there something, can Kriya help you to strike this balance and sustain your sanity in the midst of the insanity around us? I mean, it's roughly. I hope I edited it a bit.
Meditation is 100% an aim of life. And you say meditation is beyond wonderful, and life is beyond suffering. How do you connect?
It's not only Kriya, there are, all these techniques, Kriya or any other form of meditation, they're basically meant to do two things. One is to give the mind deep rest in the midst of all circumstances. And second, you need a tremendous energy to live in this tumultuous world and still keep your sanity. You need tremendous energy. And we dissipate our energies daily in petty things, small things. And Kriya it has been found effective in being able to activate the source of energy in us. So that when that energy is active, then we have tremendous energy, but it is gentle energy, not riotous energy. This also can happen if one is not careful, but gentle, soft, tranquil energy, but energy. Don't equate tranquility here with inertia or lethargy. It's active, but at the same time it's tranquil. Only when such energies can be awakened in us, which is the function of Kriya, that we can really be able to maintain our sanity in the midst of this. Because you have so much energy that nothing can disturb you. And if you live that way, I think you can change others. This is the importance of Kriya. I explained it in a little different angle. See, in this world, when we live, the life energy in us, prana, moves through 108 channels in the system, roughly. I mean, this 108 may not be an accurate figure, which means numerous channels. So when it moves through one channel, we are doing something. When you're doing something else, 101 things are happening, and the energy moving through these channels keeps it going. What Kriya does, the practice of Kriya, is to gather all these energies which are being dissipated daily through all these multiple channels, and to bring them together in one place, not physical place, but to bring them together, gather them together, so that you have the entire 100 megaton bomb ready with you, but in a good way, and to be able to therefore use it so that your consciousness ascends from the gross to the subtle. Gross to the subtle, till it finally comes face to face with that which is our true essence. When that is discovered, actually there is no contradiction in living in this world and being in it.
But the world's burning, people are tortured, trafficked, animals are killed.
You can do nothing about it, but you can change yourself. And if many people change, this will come to an end. You can't change it there. It has to change here.
Living with it. And
Well, you need,
Stop reading the meditation.
no, you got me all, no, you got it all wrong now from what I said. You don't have to retreat into meditation. You perfect yourself so that you're able to function in the midst of this, not retreat. Oh, short periods of retreating are good, of course. There's no question, because when you don't have energy, you always plug in and try to draw energy, right? But you don't have to run away from life. You can't say I can change the entire world, but I can change myself. If I change myself, I can change my neighbor at least. And if there are many such neighbors, we can change the world. No government is going to change the world. No government, this government or that government. We might think it is this government. It's not so. No government can really change the world. Human beings can. And if you can make those who are in charge of politics change, then there's lots possible, because they wield a lot of power in their hands. So this should be the attempt. I know what you're saying, it's difficult. Especially if you're sensitive and you're touched by it, it's not easy. I agree with you. But we have to try. We can't give up, can we? Should we give up?
Namaskar, Guruji.
Now, I want to ask one question. All these, are they personal or are they questions which can be discussed? Are there any personal questions which we cannot discuss? I want to be clear, because I don't want somebody to feel that probably they're okay.
Yeah, I think we made it clear yesterday that you will read it out if it comes here.
Can I choose the questions? This I don't have to choose. Somebody sent me a nice card with birds flying. It said M, that's all. Oh, it also says love, so. Okay, so let's fly. Now this question which somebody gave me, I have already explained. Can you please explain slok? Somebody has read the Upanishad. 10 and 11, they say the result of knowledge is different from the result of ignorance. But before that you have to read the other, that one who worships ignorance enters into darkness, and one who worships knowledge enters into greater darkness. If you have understood that explanation, then this question is answered. No need to specifically answer this question. One who knows these together, through knowledge, he crosses death. Through the knowledge of the understanding that real knowledge is nothing to do with gathering information. Gathering information is, you don't need to do it. Google can do it for you. You just need to go there and find out. So gathering information shouldn't be mistaken for knowledge. It's just a memory. It's something to gather, which may be useful in this earth, no question, but it may not take you to the absolute. Somebody says faith. Now here is a question. I don't know if this is personal. There I have a serious back injury that resulted in having to have a drug pump in my spine. Drugs are narcotics. I haven't found any other treatment for the pain. Will being on these drugs impair my spirit? Who is this? Is it okay to keep it secret? Okay. Now, if you have a serious back problem and you're using a drug pump, what do you mean by a drug pump? Oh, it's inside the body. And what kind of drug is it?
It's a narcotic.
Hmm?
It's a narcotic. It's called Dilaudid.
Called what?
Dilaudid.
So what does it contain? Okay. Okay. So that keeps your pain under control. You can't function without it, right? I don't think it is a barrier to your spiritual progress. No. In fact, some lineages in the Indian tradition use cannabis to move forward. Dangerous thing to do, of course, unless you are guided properly. This is nothing to do with that. So it's a different kind of narcotic, so it's okay. It's certainly not going to be a barrier to your spiritual. Having said that, I don't use cannabis. I know people who do, that's okay. I have been a devotee of another guru for many years. Yet I have been drawn to your teachings after reading a book. How do I know if you are my guru? How do you help the chela from a distance? Let me ask you something. You have been a devotee of another guru. And if you still want to listen to the teaching, there is no harm, because I don't want devotees. You can be a devotee of another guru, it's okay with me, because I don't want any devotees. Because the word devotee is nowadays so loaded that I'm very worried about this term. So, I don't want devotees. Devotees are those who keep flattering you all the time. You are the greatest thing on earth, this, that. I don't want that kind of thing. So if you still want to know something and be friends, I'm open to it. I have no problem. Yeah, you don't have to exchange your guru for me, because I don't want to be your guru. So, okay? So you can still continue to come and talk and listen. And at some time, if you feel it's okay, then you can accept me as a friend, a teacher. You don't have to make that devotee in quotes. You know what I mean? Okay, since we are on that subject, this is very important. Suppose you have come to me because you don't know the way to go to San Jose. Suppose. And suppose I know how to go. Unfortunately, the problem becomes when I don't know and still pretend to know. But suppose I really know. And I'm standing there and you come to me, you don't have a Google map, so you come to me and say, how do I go to San Jose? So I say, okay, you go this way, you'll come to the highway, take a left and then take the next exit and then go straight and turn to number 3 or whatever highway and then keep going and you'll come to San Jose. Now, if you seriously and urgently want to go to San Jose, what will be your action next? You'll start your car, look at the direction and move forward? Or will you stay there and garland me and do arati to me and ring bells and say, you are the greatest guru on earth, you won't reach San Jose, believe me. This is what I'm trying to say. It's all right if you put a garland on. I don't like garlands, first of all, because flowers are beautiful where they stand. You cut it out and hang them in a thread, it's terrible. You just leave it there, it's so beautiful. I love flowers, of course. I love children, I don't want garlands made of their heads. So, anyway. What I'm trying to say is that the function of the teacher is to lead you and tell you how to move. And the movement belongs to you. You have to move, you have to walk, you have to go, you have to drive, do what you want. You can't stay there and just praise me. It's not going to help. Well, it's okay to praise me instead of cursing me, but you know what I mean. Don't give too much importance to that. So don't give too much importance to the teacher per se, but to the teaching. What is being said, listen to that and act. Otherwise it makes no sense. And also it's a sign of laziness. Oh, I have surrendered everything to the Guru. And what about you? I'll do what I want. No, not possible. So we are friends. Who's this? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Don't reveal yourself. But let's be friends. Now here is a big problem, a big conundrum, I could say. I know that you discourage personal relationship. Who said? This is very funny. I never said I discourage personal relationship. I know you discourage personal. Now you are putting things into my head. I know you discourage personal relationship. But when I seek my inner Guru, I see only you. What should I do? Get rid of it. No. If when you look for your inner Guru, which is most important, of course, the inner guidance that comes from inside. If you only see me, and if you ask me what should I do, what can I say? At least if you see my image, think in your mind that this is the image of M, it's not M. So with due respect, I'm looking at that image, that's okay. But as long as the teachings are reflected in your life, then it's okay. If they're not, then it's of no use. You may all the time keep my image in your mind. It's not a good idea, but suppose you do, because what happens is with sensitive people like me, if you keep doing that, I keep feeling it. I have so many people to work with. So while it's okay, but the most important thing is see what I have said and read and taught and try to follow that rather than keeping my image inside. Even if you keep an image of an egg inside and call it M, I'm okay with that. But please, it doesn't mean that I discourage personal relations, nothing like that. I don't. I don't exactly encourage personal relationship too much, but there's nothing wrong. We are human beings. We have personal relationships. It shouldn't become so personal that 24 hours I'm only thinking of, then we are in danger. There's somebody holding a microphone for a long time here. Yeah.
Namaskar, Guru.
Sorry.
You talk about letting it go.
Some more questions are there.
You talk about letting it go and free your mind. The more I try, the more I remember things. So is there a way or process or technique to let it go, or how it works?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, wait a minute. Now letting go is not a technique. Please understand this. Letting go is an understanding. It's not so much of a technique. The problem with us is that we are so accustomed to techniques that we're always looking for techniques. Technology, techniques, you know what I mean? So letting go is not a technique, it's an attitude. One, it's an attitude. So having said that, I want to tell you something else. Suppose I love music. Suppose. It could be Indian music or it could be Western music, the great symphonies, Beethoven, Mozart, it could be any. Suppose I love music. And when the music is heard, I am so well absorbed in that music. No effort on my part, actually. It's an effortless absorption. And when I do that, automatically I have let go of everything else. For me, nothing exists then except the music. And there is no effort in that, except the effort to listen, which is not a big effort. This is what I roughly mean by letting go. It's not a technique. So you get so serious about this that you don't want any support. When you seriously come to that point, the supports probably fall off by themselves, because you know that none of these are going to help. Yeah, please.
So, I think would appreciate your input regarding the following. So you had mentioned earlier today that we should let go of things like slaps and insults. But there are occasions in our lives when people in the recent or distant past have hurt us so much that it spoils our peace of mind rather frequently, and it's very difficult to let go. And I also want to cite the example of the Pandavas, who only found peace after they took revenge on the Kauravas, after the insults they suffered. So I just want your input on how practically to live peacefully and let go.
First of all, you are neither Pandavas nor Kauravas. So keep them out of this story. Okay? That's a different context, it's a different period. Let's not mix it up. We are not like the Pancha Pandavas. First of all, we don't share one wife. And we are also not like the Kauravas, because we are not all so evil. We are good human beings generally. So let's keep that department out. Now, if you are saying how to let go, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. It has to be a deliberate attempt. There are no props for this. You need to realize that there is peace only when you let go. You will not find peace if you don't let go. If this goes deep in your mind, then you will let go. The thing is, you don't want to do it. You've decided, I will take revenge. You don't want to do it. You'll never find peace, let me tell you. Don't say like the Pandavas. You're not a Pandava, first of all. So, as a human being, as a normal, ordinary human being, not Arjuna, you need to look at this truth that unless you let go of this insult and injury, you cannot move forward and you will not find peace. It has to be a deliberate act on your part. There are no techniques. That's exactly what I'm telling this gentleman who asked me. You have to see the truth of it, not the technique for it. We always look for techniques. The truth, if you see the truth as it is face to face, then it begins to work.
Someone may say that if he takes revenge and then lets go, he'll succeed, and he may rationalize it that way.
What is that?
Someone may say that only if I take revenge I will get the peace, then I will automatically let go.
Then go ahead and take revenge. I have nothing to say. Maybe you'll find peace in jail. Some saints have acquired peace in the jail.
Yeah. Namaskars. Yeah, you mentioned knowledge as memory. So my question, can it be more than a memory? Can it improve our intellect and enhance our understanding?
No, wait a minute. There is no question about the quality of knowledge to improve you. That's not the problem. We are not saying that. We are saying, from the absolute standpoint, if you're looking for something which is always here in the present and which cannot be defined by the past, then memory is of no use. That's all. Not that of course you need memory. Look at me. I am 69 years old. When I was 17, when I was 19, I learned the Upanishads. I have not forgotten them. So it's not that. In fact, I think if the mind is calm and quiet and free of this burden of carrying memories, it can easily go to what it wants, like the Google, and figure out what it has to say. You don't have to, all I'm saying is don't carry the burden of memory. Look at it in another angle. When I go for a talk or for a satsang, I actually don't read or think about what I'm going to say at that point. In fact, there have been cases where people get very kind of horrified when I just get off from the car near the hall and say, "Hey, what's today's subject?" You know, I don't carry it. And also when I'm doing something serious like the Upanishads, I like to read Tintin. It doesn't matter, because if your mind is clear, like a slate which has been cleaned, you don't have to remember, it comes by itself.
So,
Sir.
a follow-up question, please. So, how can I channel the knowledge to make me ready to realize the Supreme?
You can't channel the knowledge. The knowledge is to understand that all this material or all this information that you have stocked in your head is not going to help. That it needs to be downloaded. Not downloaded. What is it called? Download again becomes like copying. Not deleted. Unloaded. Yeah, not down, sorry.
Sir, can we take a break now? We are at the top of the hour. We have about an hour for brunch.
Yeah. Wait. Afterwards. Afterwards.
Pranam Guruji.
No, after 10 o'clock. After brunch, we can. We don't want to be late for brunch, right? I'll come back to you.